Hi everyone, my name is Albert, one of the co-founders of VectorShift. I'm going to make a quick video today on how to build a pipeline that creates a report and sends it to your email every single week. Whenever you have a process that you want to repeat every given point of time, let's just say every week, you use something called a cron job. You can find the cron job node under the trigger node in the VectorShift pipeline builder. Now, just as a quick review, there are three types of pipelines that you can build in VectorShift. There are standard pipelines, which are multi-purpose input to output type pipelines. There are trigger pipelines, which cron actually falls under, which is do something when something happens, right? And then we have conversational pipelines, which is when you define what happens in each step in a conversation. Now, why cron fits under the trigger node is, we want this to run every day or every week, every month, etc. Right? So let's just say we're trying to build a pipeline, and this is going to be demonstrative in this video, which is I want to summarize all the AI news that happened in the past week, every single week, and have it mailed to my inbox every Sunday. All right, let's go ahead and show you how to build this. So because we want this to happen every week, let's go ahead and press weekly. So I'm based in Eastern time right now. So let's just click Eastern time. And let's just say we want this sent to my email, every, let's just say 9 p.m. on a Sunday. All right, so this is going to trigger every 9 p.m. Sunday Eastern time. Now, I want this to run a workflow that that triggers every time this happens. So how about I create like a prompt in a text field that queries a Google search, does a Google search, and then I have an AI model actually summarize and create the report. How about I write, search all the AI news that happened this past week. And then the time is, let's just say, we're going to use the time node to actually find the time. And let's just pull out the time node. Now, I could have easily also used the timestamp variable field to connect it. But I wanted to show you kind of a feature called dependencies in VectorShift, which is we want to run a node after another node, even if we're not using the output field. You can find dependencies in the advanced settings gear. So you could go ahead and click this, and then I want this to run after the trigger is complete. So I'm not actually using any output fields within the trigger, but I want to run this node after this trigger node is complete, and this trigger node will run every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Then we're going to fetch the time, and then we're going to perform a Google search. So I'm going to search using the prompt in this text field, and then I'm going to drag out an LLM node. Let's use OpenAI, and just say, your job is to write a report on what happened this past week in the world of AI. So the date is coming from the time node. And let me say use context to write this report. And then the context is coming from Google search. And then we can do the snippets. We can also scrape all these URLs, but let's just use the snippets for this demonstration purposes. And then we're going to send this email to my inbox. So let's use the send email function. You can go ahead and authenticate your email. And then you can write to, and just say Albert at VectorShift.ai. And let's just say the subject is weekly AI report. And let's use the time node variable. So that it will say weekly AI report, May 18th, 2025. And then the body is coming from this OpenAI node. All right, so this is just a quick pipeline that I wanted to just show you on how to actually use this cron job. We've had many customers and clients use this to summarize all your inbox, summarize all your Slack messages every single week, summarize every single day all your unread emails, for example, or summarize all the newsletters that you have in your email to send a summary of that, compiling all of that to your email. So you can see a lot of use cases for this cron trigger node. I'm not going to run it because it's actually not Sunday 9 p.m. But let's just say, just as a quick review, this trigger will trigger every 9 p.m. on a Sunday, and you can define whenever that will happen. We're going to take the time node, it's going to print the current time. I'm going to tell Google to search all the AI news, search it, return the snippets to this OpenAI model, generate the report, send it to the email, and I have a dependency that depends on this cron trigger in this text node that triggers all of this off. The final thing is to actually deploy this trigger. To be able to deploy a trigger, you have to make sure that this enable automation toggle is default on. And all you gotta do is press deploy changes and then hit deploy. I'm gonna do so right here. And now every Sunday, I'm gonna receive an email in my inbox. Hopefully this video was helpful. And let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.